you last year that there was about the problem in the town of Campbell regarding their ordinance on the pedestrian overpass over I-94, or over the interstate, I-90. Sorry. We talked about the the tickets being written there and the controversy that erupted because of that, and they put that new law in place where you couldn't hold a sign, couldn't hold a banner, and walk on the pedestrian overpass. There was the Tea Party had they protested. There were protests on the bridge. People got tickets. There was YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Not long after we had that discussion, apparently, there was one of the people involved in this situation. This is hard to get into because it really was. This is a very complicated situation where you've got somebody misusing their public office and going after a regular citizen. And in this case, it's apparently the police chief of the town of Campbell. The police chief of the town of Campbell, Tim Keleman, has apparently, and according to the police report I have, and according to a video that I've seen of the basically the interrogation of Police Chief Tim Keleman in the town of Campbell, he one of the plaintiffs in the federal lawsuit against the town of Campbell, Tim Keleman went after that plaintiff by posing as him on various websites, including Match.com, where he signed this particular plaintiff up as a apparently a homosexual man. So he got a number of different solicitations. He signed up for gaybeardating.com under this plaintiff's personal information. menschatlive.com, simplygaydvd.com, Dirty D's newsletter, gayjourney.com, xhamster.com, justwatchporn.com. The police chief in the town of Campbell used the information of one of the plaintiffs in the federal lawsuit against the town of Campbell to basically harass him online. The police chief in the town of Campbell, let me repeat that. The information, according to the police report that I'm seeing, according to the video that I've seen of the interrogation of the police chief in the town of Campbell, Tim Keleman, apparently utilized his utilized his work computer, utilized his home computer to essentially used the information from one of the plaintiffs in the lawsuit against the town of Campbell, used that information to harass that plaintiff. Signing up for, again, these gay websites so that he was solicited by all these men, apparently. A number of other websites as well. And then also contributed harassing comments to the La Crosse Tribune's website. All as the police chief in the town of Campbell. I'm going through some of this information right now, and it's absolutely stunning. It is absolutely stunning and disturbing, and I'll explain to you why I feel that way. To describe, getting to the very tip of what we're seeing, another abuse of power in a local police jurisdiction. Town of Campbell Police Chief Tim Keleman, apparently, I'm stunned. I really am. But apparently harassing online a plaintiff in a lawsuit against the town of Campbell. I got to know what you think about it. 608-785-7914, 785-7914. If you're in the town of Campbell right now, you're very clearly just hearing this for the very first time. I want to hear from you. Your police chief, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe not the best guy for the job. I have been overwhelmed with what we found out this afternoon regarding something that's been going on apparently for some time, or had happened earlier this year. Let me put it that way. Something that had happened earlier this year. an investigation into the Campbell Police Chief Tim Keleman. Apparently, Chief Keleman, according to the investigative report, the police report that I've been reading this afternoon, and the interrogation of Chief Keleman by Monroe County back in January, one of the plaintiffs for the federal lawsuit against Town of Campbell, Greg Luce, reported that for someone signing him up for like newsletters and gay porn websites and all kinds of nutty stuff. It just basically just stuff to keep him occupied. So after an investigation, basically, I'll run it down real quickly. After the investigation, they found out that they tracked all this stuff back to the IP address of Chief Tim Keleman at his house and at his work computer. So the Town of Campbell police chief, apparently in response to the federal lawsuit against one of the plaintiffs, the federal lawsuit, I guess in response to the federal lawsuit brought against the town regarding their writing tickets for people walking across the bridge, the Town of Campbell police chief decided it was appropriate to essentially harass a private citizen online by signing him up. And okay, maybe that's something where you do when you're, in 8th grade or something. This is the police chief in the Town of Campbell. And Greg Luce getting inundated, apparently, with solicitations from not only like Match.com, and the police chief created a profile for Greg Luce of a gay man, and so he was getting, not that, again, if that's how you roll, that's cool. I don't care. But not how Greg rolls. And so it was not cool. And it was not something, certainly, that was welcome. And the most bizarre thing about this is not that he did it. Not that he apparently went nuts over this stuff. And it was a couple dozen different sites. And a bunch of other stuff, too, besides porn sites and things like that. Not that he did it, but that he didn't think it was a big deal. And this is him during the interrogation explaining.
I mean, I don't know what information I stole from him. If you go on like a website and that's sign somebody up for like a email newsletter or something like that, it's just annoying where we had to go into our things and have to keep deleting all of these things that we're getting signed up for. I'm like, all right, buddy, you're causing us a hassle. We're going to cause you a hassle,
All right, buddy. If you're going to cause us a hassle, we're going to cause you a hassle. The police chief in the Town of Campbell, in explaining his actions to an investigator who was assigned to the case to find out why a private citizen, you could have your own point of view about Tea Party guy Greg Luce, but to explain why he had gone online to harass a private citizen, said, all right, buddy, you're going to hassle us, we're going to hassle you too.
Well, to me, fellas, I just think it wasn't that big of a deal, you know what I'm saying? To me, it's just like, you want to mess with us because we were getting messed with. Like, it was like over the top.
And it goes on and on and on. It's endless. Have your opinions about, because certainly Greg Luce has made a name for himself. An adjutant, one might say. But for a sworn police officer to anonymously attack a private citizen, harassing in an online way, how is that reasonable? Okay, you hassled us, we're going to hassle you too? What are we doing here? Is this playground police work? We've asked for a comment from the town chair. Scott Johnson has not called yet. Hopefully that'll happen. 608-785-7914. We'll go to Eric. Thanks for waiting, Eric. Thanks for go ahead, you're on.
Yeah, I just want to comment about, I've been called a wacko bird, a conspiracy theorist, all this. And what's funny is this kind of stuff that goes on, and then tomorrow, people are going to be like, "Oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist." Like, humans are imperfect.
Yep.
When you put someone in a position of power, wherever that may be, in a government role, it's going to get abused in some way, shape, or form. And you hope that people don't abuse it, but I think that's a testament to the size of government we have, and that we need to reduce government.
Well, there's always going to be police, there's always going to be police chiefs, there's always going to be people in a position of power. I think, Eric, the most important thing regarding this case, and maybe many others, is that there's clearly an ethical lapse. And I don't know how to judge that. When you're hiring somebody for a position as important as a police chief, you need to make sure that person is not someone who is prone to the abuse of power. Now, you're suggesting that it happens regardless, and I think that there may be some truth to that. I don't think that's a universal. But
I'll concede that point. I mean, there are good police officers, there are good people in government.
Plenty of them.
I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to make a blanket statement. I'm trying to say that when I'm getting attacked for ideas that I bring forward for discussion, and I completely get written off. Oh, that won't happen.
Right.
People won't do that.
Right.
It's, like I said, it's just a testament to the open discussion.
Right,
about
and and Eric, that's the thing, is that's what we've been taught to believe, and for the most part, that's true. But then you run into a situation like this where you just put your hand over your mouth, like I did most of the afternoon, just shaking my head, aghast at this.
It's unbelievable.
It is. It's unbelievable. It's an amazing abuse of power. I mean, it's not like I don't know, stalking the guy at home, maybe, or maybe it is kind of. I guess it is in some way. I'm stunned. He's not going to face any charges for this, but it's still
what?
Even I don't think he is. I mean, I don't believe he is. I mean, he might. I guess but I don't see how they can keep him as a police chief. It's a fundamental abuse of power, and the fact that he doesn't believe he did anything wrong is stunning to me. Absolutely
that
stunning.
Is the most stunning part.
It is. That's damnable. It's absolutely horrible. Eric, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Let me get to Main Street Guy. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead, you're on.
Yeah, I mean, it's illegal.
It is illegal, yes.
I don't know if it's stalking, but it's definitely harassment.
Yep, it violates state statutes, yep.
He'd be subject to criminal statutes, as well as, I mean, Greg could go in there and do some kind of civil suit, I'm sure.
Probably.
I'm sure he could claim damages for those too. It's just and I think Eric was absolutely correct. Now, project this onto a bigger scale. When somebody like this is trusted with information, like maybe your medical records, or we keep entrusting more and more information and duties to somebody who somehow became a police chief, and they just kind of wing it like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really bizarre. That reminds me of the days when people would hook up suspects to a little hand generator and get them to talk in the old Chicago police precincts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just give them a jolt. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, this is weird. This is really weird. And this guy is either completely stupid or inexperienced, or he knows exactly what he did, and he's just trying to pretend he didn't get caught. But I think the important thing to remember is you have to go after it. When people start saying that the Tea Party's nutcase and unprofessional and all these things, you need something to point to. So pursue a criminal case. Pursue a civil case.
Yep.
Because this may mean more than the overpass case.
Oh, I think it means way more. I think it is, because this is a tremendous abuse of power.
There's nothing better than a good cop, and there's nothing worse than a bad cop.
Yeah.
And this guy is a piece of trash.
Well, I mean, we instill so much, we put so much trust in our law enforcement officers. We give them so much responsibility. We expect so much from them. And to have not just an officer of the law, but a chief of police stoop to these levels to very clearly attack a private citizen, it just goes beyond.
It's so dumb. Rookies in riot gear sit there and hold the line while they're getting crap thrown at them.
Yep.
You know, and they sit there stone-faced, disciplined, ready to act if they have an order. And this buffoon is just doing whatever he wants. I mean, this is pathetic. I mean,